What's going on, everybody? It's Steve again. I'm here with Shawn. I just played Treachery in Beatdown City, and it's fucking awesome. You know what? I'm not going to explain what it is. I'll probably butcher it. Shawn, tell us what that game is. What did I just play?
Okay, so a lot of people. So long and short of it, if you know about games, I say Double Dragon meets Fallout. VATS. I think that's pretty accurate. To people who don't know exact names, we say like it's the tactics turn-based RPG fighting game, wrestling game of your dreams. And a lot of people come back to us and they say that I don't know how to explain it, that it sounds less interesting than it is, because it's really hard to describe, I think, and that it actually feels a lot like real fighting, because you have to think about, even though there's this turn-based element and this real-time element, it's all about where you are, what's happening around you, and is someone going to hit you in the back of your head? Are you going to try to do a big attack? If you don't pay attention to what you're doing, then you're going to lose.
Or as I learned, you need to knock weapons out of people's hands.
You got to knock weapons.
And beat the holy shit out of them with it.
Yes, if someone has a pipe, you got to get that pipe out of their hand or you're going to lose that fight.
I want to say the sprite work is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Did you do the art yourself? That's awesome work. I mean, super inspired with taking me back to my NES days, River City Ransom type stuff.
It's very much based on, I started with Double Dragon on the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Both for its single player RPG goodness, because you leveled up in that one, and then also just some of the simplistic, just kind of looking at it what is a style that I thought was interesting, because I looked at Mighty Final Fight, River City Ransom, all of those, and I thought this one was just what I wanted to do.
It also, I mean, I played it for maybe 15 minutes. It's oozing charm. The characters have personalities. I wasn't just skipping through dialogue, only the last one, because I wanted to beat somebody up. But I mean, she was very disrespectful. The characters are very different from each other right off the bat. You can tell. It's a sense memory thing too. You want to go in there and just start punching, which you can do, but with strategy involved. Like you said, you're playing with your action meter, which is very VATS-like, you said, in Fallout 4, Fallout 3 style stuff. What made you go in that direction for this game? Why did you want to combine those instead of going to just a side-scroller beat 'em up with just some awesome RPG elements? Why'd you go with this for fighting?
So we started actually trying to make an awesome beat 'em up that just did some things, and we were just finding that it just wasn't working out. Weren't really happy with, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Castle Crashers, because I felt like Castle Crashers is a lot like Ninja Turtles 2. It's you got 4 people and they're basically the same, and that's fine. And also, but that's set in a medieval time. It's a lot of things that I was no, I wanted a game set in the streets where you could fight people. And then we were making that game, and I was just this isn't super interesting. And in the shower, I was just thinking about combat and how much I love Fallout 3. I loved we love a lot of RPGs. We love Final Fantasy. We love all that, and we love Super Mario RPG.
Talking directly into my soul.
And then there's also this weird game on N64 that not a lot of people played, and it's mostly bad except for the fighting, which is called Hybrid Heaven.
I knew exactly what you were talking about. Hybrid Heaven.
And also,
that was on the Retro Game Club, episode 50 or 60 or so.
And Hybrid Heaven, so I basically went to all of these games and made a big document. I went through Hybrid Heaven and said, what makes this game good? What makes it not good? Hybrid Heaven, they have a million moves. Yeah. And I was just but none of these moves do anything. There's 8 or 10 moves that do different things than the other ones. They just you hit someone,
they
you hit
just
someone.
Look different.
The headbutt's the coolest thing. You headbutt someone twice and they're dead, and you're oh, that's awesome. So then I tried to look at all the ways of differentiating fighting. Similar how Castle Crashers is oh, they're all the same character. Whereas Final Fight, in '89 was oh, they're 3 very distinct characters, and then Streets of Rage 2 took that in a whole different direction.
Knights of the Round.
Lancelot. Hell yeah.
Lancelot.
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's
Crown was that was the new game that I was even though it's I
gotta switch arms. My arm's getting tired. Okay, there we go.
Even though it's a medieval game, I'm this game is beautiful because you could be the dwarf and throwing a rock around, or the Amazon knocking people up, and everyone was distinct. So we were well, how can we do that here? And also, just for differentiation, Fire Pro Wrestling is a game all about differentiation through very distinct number switches, right? So And I actually played a lot of Fire Pro when all my friends went to college and I was still in New York. And I was just playing this in a Fire Pro like message board. So that was a game that really inspired a lot of this. And I'm like, friends with like Suda51, and he's like super excited for this game to come out in Japan. And it's really cool that I get to like roll some, because this actually has some very distinct, like the way the enemies think is based on how you would make behavior in Fire Pro.
All right, guys, my arm's getting tired. I got to put this thing down.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep your eyes out for Treachery and Beatdown City, because it's going to blow your mind. The things that are combined here are fantastic. This is Steve, Nintendo Dual Screens Podcast. Thank you very much.